All right. Hello. Hello. Thanks for joining me for this project that I'm calling the Easter tree. This is the sketch that I drew up, and you have access to that as a free download part of this class. Now, what I'm going to do is let me just give you an idea of the size here, and I'm going to show you what kind of things I'm going to use to accomplish this project. So, the handout is, or the download is a little bit smaller than what the paper I cut. This is a 5.5 by 8.5. And the paper that I cut is watercolor paper, is 6 by 9. And it came from a pad. I just have a pad of watercolor paper, and I cut it right down the middle of it. So yes, it's going to be a little bit larger, but what I'm going to do is bring this all the way over to this edge and just make my trunk of the tree a little larger when I actually go to finish work on that part of the project. So let me talk to you first for a minute about some of the things that are inspiring me for this. First off, the colors of it. I want it to be spring colors. And I have this really fun bottle, this old fun bottle, this vintage bottle of buttons. And in the colors in here, I love the greens, the turquoise, the blues. So that's inspiring to me. Also, I'm going to be using watercolor with this, but well, I might use some acrylic paint. But to me, this is spring colors. The lavenders, the pinks, the light turquoises, the fun apple greens. So possibly use those in the mix of this. And I'm going to use just pages from a magazine that I had a vintage magazine. Here it is right here, just any old magazine, but this happened to be one that I had handy. And I went through and I found pictures that would have textures and colors similar to what I want to use. And so this wonderful vase of peonies, I'll use that. I found this that I just thought was adorable, and that's this pillow here with these flowers, this little pattern down here. Now, the reason I chose to do this is I'm going to do it as a mixed media project. So the background is all these different pieces collaged together. And then using negative painting, I'll go ahead and sculpt out or paint out actually the image of the design. And so I wanted to figure out ways that I could create texture without doing a lot of printing. And mostly I was just trying to think, what is it that you have that would be accessible and easy for you to get a hold of? I didn't want to use heavy papers because that leaves, when you start collaging, it's thicker and leaves a lot of different ridges in that. So I wanted something really thin, like a magazine page. This is a great texture here, I thought, and the colors. And then even on this page, this is a whole page, but all I want in here is this little background inside this box, because I think that would make a great texture. And then this, of course, is my colors that I'm using. The roses, you cannot go wrong using live flowers. Possibly I might use this. And here's this blue. So those are some of the things. And then I'm going to also use a book page that I just ripped out of an old dictionary that I have. And I'm going to use some watercolor. So let's start out first. And I'm going to put that aside. We'll pull that up in a minute. Let's just start by adding the images in here. And it's always seems like the challenging part is to get started. So let's just start with this blue right here. And I'm going to be using small pieces. I'm tempted to use that. I know it's got maybe some darker colors than what I wanted to use, but let's try it. Okay, so we'll rip that out. I'm going to go ahead and just rip some pages right now to get started. These are really cute lampshade. You can even use these. Those are the colors that I'm using. Just rip out some different pieces. Now, the reason I'm ripping is when you cut it, that too leaves an edge, whereas the ripping it tends to blend a lot easier, quite a bit. Let's see, let's just go right up into this. I don't want the white, but I do want the colors. There we go. And we'll grab this turquoise right here. Take out that white edge. Don't need that. Let's see. I think that's all I need for that one right now. And here's this. Like I said, the reason I'm ripping out all of these different textures and pictures is I wanted to create the Easter eggs, especially with different designs. And it's just a quicker way, a simpler way than going back and drawing each design. That might be interesting. Watch my colors. I don't want anything in this particular one. I'm not going to use the reds too much. This page has quite a bit though. The green that they painted the walls is a wonderful color. I'm going to grab this right here. We'll just hold on to that in case there's something else. Oh, here's some more of that. Let's see. Let's go for this one. Use their stained glass window as part of our design. And then all these little things up here, I thought, ooh, that would be really interesting. This is always an adventure. You're not quite sure what you're going to get with this. So you just have to go with it. Just have a little fun and see what happens. Let's see. I'm going to pull out some of that red. Okay. All right, now we're on to this page. You don't have to pull all your pieces out to start like I am. I usually don't do this, but this kind of gives me an idea of what I have to work with. Let's see. And I love peonies. Love peonies. I'll save that. Possibly use some more of that. And then, of course, my book page. All right. Scoot those all over here. And let's get started now. Let me turn that. I have a wonderful window that I like to work across, but when that sun comes in and it leaves those impressions, it's not such a great thing. Okay. Now let's see. What you'll need next is some matte gel, matte medium to put down, to glue it down. And I'm going to use a brush. Sometimes I'll use a little spatula, but this time I'm going to use a brush with this. So start with I'm going to grab something to put on my surface because that way I don't have to be so careful. It's easier for me if I can be a messy creator. Okay, there, that'll work. Just ripping a strip. I am going to go off the edge a little bit, and then I can cut it when I'm finished and trim it up. Glue this down. I'm going to use some more of these pieces and stick them out in this direction as if they're the branches. It's easier to just go right across the back of this for me right now on this particular piece. So if I go across the back, careful so you don't rip. Glue that down. Make sure that underneath is glued. All right. And I get really silent when I work because I'm thinking of the colors and where I'm putting things. And I put that there. The green and the pink really complement each other wonderfully. Let's see. You can hold up your pattern just to get an idea of where some things will be laying. Okay, I think there's an egg over here, so I want to put pattern down. Let's see what else I have. Now, for me, the contrast between that very subtle, soft, a lot of it will be covered, but I'm going to come back in and put that right over the top of there. I feel like it would make a better transition. It might make better composition when I go to do the eggs. Where's that other really pretty? Here we go. Let's just get some pieces of this. Oh. I have leaves down here, so we'll get some pretty turquoises and blues. Lay these right across. There, crisscross. Add a little bit of green. And this yellow. Let's put it right up in here. And as I'm doing this, I'm thinking to myself, okay, I know there's going to be leaves down here. A lot of this will be painted out. There'll be leaves over here, but I think I can add. We'll see if I can add. Well, I might not be able to watercolor. Once you put a surface over, then it doesn't absorb into it. But I can put my acrylic paints. Would be really pretty. So I think I'm going to leave the rest of that and use the acrylic paints. Matter of fact, we'll just go ahead and add the words, the book page, and then we can put the paint right over it too. Wonderful. Okay, I'm going to stop there with that. Close that up. We're going to dry that before we put another layer of anything on top of it. cut the back, cut this extra off. There we go. Wonderful. Go ahead and save those scraps. Now let's add. I'm going to go ahead and get the acrylic paint out. I'm going to rip a piece of this and use that. I'm not going to need very much, so we'll just put a little dab of each color on here. And the colors, I'll read to you what I'm using, but you can basically just get any bright green, apple green. This one is called Green Pop. It's by Anita's Acrylics. This one is by Delta Creative. It's Cream Coat. And the color, Laguna Blue. There we go. This one is Hyacinth. It's by Anita. Apple Barrel, and this is Pink Eraser. I use this one quite a bit times. It's like pink bubble gum to me. And then the last one here is Aquamarine, and it's Apple Barrel. And I've never used that before, so give me a minute and let me take off the sealed protector. There we go. There's a spot. That's a pretty. Looks like Easter to me. I'm going to use the same brush. I'm cleaning it out right now that I used to put the matte medium down. Just a nice flat tip. And add this colors in here. Take out all the water. I want it to be opaque, not really translucent. It can be a little translucent as we go over the words. Mix those together. Coming up some of that green. I'm going to pull that back off of that. Wipe my fingers. Preserve some of that color. I'm not using as much of the pink simply because I noticed I have quite a bit already in. So might go back over into some areas that are light and make them pop. One color I did not add that I think, let's see if it will work with the watercolors. Well, actually, where are my stains? Ah, here it is. Wonderful. I already know this is going to be the tree over here. So I'm going to use this as an ink. It's burnt umber. We'll see what happens. So I add that. I'm going to, it is very intense. So I'm going to use water with it. Because I do know that over here is the trunk. Use my paper towel to pull some of that back up. I liked how this right in here took that. So instead of adding water, I'm just going to use my paper towel and brush it. There we go. Let's try that. Okay, I'm going to let that sit for a minute. Let that dry for just a second. Put it to the side. And I want to get a picture here of this. Takes a second here. Clean up so I don't create a bigger mess. Stick those over here. Great. Good deal. All right. Okay. Right, I'm going to try, I just want to get a scan of this so that before I do anything else to it. Do another. It's perfect. Okay. I'd like to go back and see what I've got there so that I give you a great pattern. All right. Just flip that over. It'll be safe inside. All right, this is larger, so I'm going to be moving it over to this side, like so. And the tree I already know is going to be over here. Now let's see if it will work to use a graphite paper underneath to trace this. I'm matching up the top. I'm just going to extend down the bottom. So I want to make sure the top, because that's where I have more leaves and things going on. Let's see. Let's try this now. And it's not showing up as well as I'd like. Let's see what we can use. You know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking chalk. Chalk on the back. Let's try that. Never done that exactly, but I've got some. I have regular white chalk, but I also have, what is this? Charcoal white. Let's try it. I think it's going to be easier to use the chalk to cover a larger amount of surface. I'm hoping that this is the same. We'll see. As if you put graphite, you know, when you take your pencil and you go across it like so. And then when you turn over and trace it, that graphite goes onto your picture. We'll see what happens. With the chalk, I'm hoping it's the same principle. And I'm going back and forth in different directions just to make sure I'm covering. Yep, it's coming off on my fingers, so that's a good thing, right? I think this is going to work. At least it'll give me a close enough to where everything is, and then I can come back in. Oop. Is that my trunk? I don't think I need to worry about my trunk so much. Does it look like I have? All right, let's try that. I'm going to get rid of that for right now. I don't want to. That's really pretty background. Pull this up toward the top. Like so. See what happens. No, I'm not getting what I want on that. I'm not getting what I want on that. So that's the next best thing. Well, there's a little bit. This will be the most challenging part. You know, I can see it, but it's not, I can't see it well enough. Let's figure out something else to help you with that. Okay. Let's see. Let's try this white watercolor. Let's see if that does something a little different. It's good as I experiment this with you for a few minutes. We can always draw it, and I'll walk you through that. But sometimes it's nice just to have a template. Let's see. I think I'm going to use this on. Where the eggs are. I'm looking through to see where the eggs are. I can see the tree a little bit here, so All right, let's give that a try. See if we have a little more luck. And I'm thinking, what can I use that? Like a pen. I've got this pencil, but sometimes pencils are soft. So let's find my pens. No, that's not giving me what I want either. Actually, it is. It's just in white. So let's try something else. What color would stand out? Maybe a blue? A red? I think we're going to just need to draw this out ourselves. That's what I'm thinking, because and really to do what we can do is cut out part of it. So let me look for my little scissors. That will give us, the leaves are easy to do. And the thing about this is to give you placement. Like I said, if you're comfortable in just sketching out your own tree branches, that is wonderful. But if you're not, this will work great. I would not go around each leaf at this point. I would go for the actual branch. But this will make it easier to get the placement of the bird and the eggs. Get the general shapes. And the leaves are actually super easy to draw in. by themselves. There we go. We're coming along. Start up here at the top. These are very thin branches. So I'm not going to cut that. Well, go in and cut a little part of it out just to help us. I'm going to start up this direction because this is a very thin branch. I can lose it. So that gives me the idea of where that's at. I would not recommend cutting out every little detail of this. But I would get yourself cut out enough that it gives you, direction, bearing of where things are located. We'll save that little egg. I'm going to grab my little scissors. Oops. Get that back over there. See, that's going to be a lot easier to cut with than what I was using those large. So we're coming right along. Go back up here, and now I've got my small scissors, I can get into these little areas a lot easier. All right. All those wonderful pieces. Push them to the side. Now we're going to put this on. Use my marker. And lay it out. And I'm not going to be really particular. I'm going to be I'm going to go outside of the lines. Can you see what I'm doing here? I'm actually making the branch a lot wider. And the reason I'm doing that is because I want the color to show through. I'm going to be filling this other in with paint, and I would like the the branches are so small on my drawing. I'll lift this up so you can see what I'm doing. Just trace this out around. All right, it's giving me a good little background. Now I can come in here. I know what my tree looks like. Okay, let's see here. Where did this branch go? Okay, this branch connects right over here to this. Okay. And up here, it's a little confusing, but we have a branch coming off here. And this branch went over the top, so I'm going to go ahead and draw him in just like that. But it went behind this branch. A lot of branches flying around there. Okay, we've got down here, it needs to be completed. Got the bird. My little bird didn't quite get the bottom of him. Let's just line him in there. There we go. And then this one. Wonderful, just like that. Now we can add the leaves to this. So we've got our eggs. We've got our little bird. And let's add some leaves. I'm going to change pens for a minute. I'm going to use my jelly roll. Let's see. And as I'm doing this, I'm going to probably not put as many leaves in as I had in the original. But just enough. Okay, grab some of these pretty flowers with my leaves. Okay. Now, put these leaves on around here like this. Okay. All right. Some of these leaves, we'll want them to come out a little more. Okay. All right, let's start painting this and see what we come up with now. All right, so this time I'll be using a smaller brush. And I'm going to use, I could use white, but I believe what I want to use is like a cream. Let me find a cream real quick. Here we go. This is called Milky White. And Okay, we just put some out on the thing here. I'm not going to even wet that. We're just going to go straight on and paint that in. Let's start up here. Let's see. Put it on my fingers. There we go. Get rid of that glare. And now we start painting around it. Go around the leaves. And be generous with your paint. All right. Probably want to use a smaller brush right through here. Let's see. Let me grab one of my smaller brushes. Down into this detail a little more. Okay. Go on this side. Go around the little bird. And I wasn't paying attention there. I went over my tree. Not a problem. If you work quickly, catch it right away, you can wipe it right off. There we go. I just wiped that right there because I see I didn't. All right. Got a tree limb coming down here. Like that. I need to look at where that limb is going. Okay, there it is. This does take a little bit of focus right here. All right, let's see here. I know there's a tree limb here. Come across there, right up there. I'll get inside that little egg. And I'll come back with a little more here. Let that dry. Getting it over into the branch. So okay. We've got a leaf that goes around here. Okay, take care. Let's see, we'll have to clean that off a little bit right there. Okay. Oops. Okay, I've got a branch that goes up here. And I am going to paint that all in. I think that was a branch, but we're going to paint it all in right now. If I was to do this over, I'd probably make my leaves larger. I would exaggerate on the leaves. Because make fewer of them and make them larger. I'm going to just go right over that leaf like that. As a matter of fact, this is kind of confusing here, so I am just going to paint right over that. Yep, all these extra leaves, branches and leaves that look great in a line drawing, but when you're doing this, it's actually, I think, more effective. right. We've still got this area in here. Okay, so a branch goes up this way. And it's got a little egg. And this branch is coming down this way. I am going to Okay, this is starting to look really nice. It's been a bit of a challenge to get to this point, but it's coming along really well. Okay, so you can see that's turning out there really well. Now, I think what I'll do is let's dry that. what I'm going to do is take the white jelly roll, and I'm going to do some decorating on these eggs. So I'm going to put great big polka dots on it. We've got stripes. This one. Let's see, this one, let's do okay. Just outline that one. We've got one more over here. We'll just outline him like that. So I'll get that up there so you can see that. There's our project. That turned out really well. All right. So you can try that yourself and go ahead and post. Let me see what work it is that you do. All right.